It's now Thursday, 20 past 8. So the batteries have been on my previous video. This is my fifth video. It's been on this side, and as you could see in my previous video, we took it off, put it onto this side of these two machines here. And what we have now, just for a quick explanation, the red LEDs is the stations that are not connected, as you can see by the cables down here. So all the red ones have got no connection. So the stations that we used when we put it on 2 days ago are the ones that are flashing green at the moment. So you can see all three batteries. This one is this one, that one is that one, and this is this one. You can see every now and again there's a pulse. The same on this side, this one, and this one is the three batteries to the right of me here. If we bring the camera closer, the first stage where we put the first three batteries in a earlier stage where it wasn't on 12.5 volts, yet this equipment did bring the voltage up to 12.5. It did the second cycle start, it moved to the third cycle, and now the battery is maintaining at 13 volts. What happens is the battery voltage normally is about 12.6 volts. It naturally drops down to from the high voltage which the machine applies to the battery during the reconditioning process. It tries to drop down to its stabilized voltage of 12.6 volts, but the equipment just maintains it with a pulse. So every now and again it just gives it a pulse to maintain it above 13 volts. Because now you know the battery is completely fully charged up, and hopefully from the test which we will see that the batteries have been desulfated and they should be good for use. So what we're going to do now, because we know each battery is maintaining at 13 volts, the cycle is finished, we're going to do a load test. I just want to mention that I did monitor it, although I never disturbed any of the connections. I just had a look at during the past 2 days. I briefly looked at each battery to see at what stage they were in. Some of the batteries were already on maintaining more than a day ago, others took longer to reach the stage where the process is completed. So not all the batteries come off at the same time, but ideally what you do when you do the reconditioning of the batteries, you can come in at any stage when the batteries are green, you remove those, you do the load test, and you can take those off and clean them up and have them ready for use. The reason why I've left them all to be on the green stage, because I want to demonstrate my complete process, and to also determine have we achieved 100% pass or have we not, which we're going to now do the further tests to see what state of health these batteries are in. So I'm going to start with taking them off, So I'm going to take off each battery at a time. We're no longer going to be on the machine. As I take it off, you can see that it goes straight back to red. Let's just get the camera on this one. So this one, when we remove it, it goes straight back to red. I'll show you that's how it works. And I'll take all the batteries off. Now I'm just going to get myself a little bit of space here, so I'm going to move them up like this. And we're going to, one at a time, do the load test. We'll start with battery number 1. Battery number 1. We're going to do the carbon pile load test. Just before I put it on, we use the polarity. Always make sure the polarity is correct. If the polarity is incorrect, the needle will move in the opposite direction, which we don't want. So now we can see the voltage of the batteries just over 13 volts, because the machine has maintained it. Then we're going to crank up the carbon pile load tester. We have 60 amp hours in the green there, and we have on the battery, if you look on the battery over here, we have 60 amp hours there. So we're going to match this reading with this 60 amp hours. We're going to turn the carbon pile load tester that we draw about 180 amps from this battery for 15 seconds. It's got a beeper that goes off when we reach the 15 seconds, and the idea is that the voltage must not drop into the red band, so we don't want anything under about 9.8 volts. So we're going to turn it up slowly. We're going to go to it and see that it holds for the 15 seconds. So there we go. We could be onto the 60, and we can see this battery is holding nicely on 11 volts. And we're going to hear the beeper in a minute. Well, not a minute. There we go. This battery passes fully the test. Let's go on to the next one. That is battery number 1. Just put it on the side. We will, as you can see, battery number 4. That's fine because we put it in this order. Let's do battery number 4 now. The same thing. We now got it 13 volts again because the machine maintained it just over 13 volts. We're going to go up to the 60 just like the previous battery. And we hold it on 60, holding it there. And it's well above the 10 volts. Battery passes 100%. We're going to do the next one. This is battery number 5. Again over 13 volts. Again we're going to do the 60 amp hours. 60 amp hours, we're well above the 11 volts. You can see this battery is slightly stronger than the previous one. The previous one was just under 11 volts and passes the load test 100%. For demonstration purposes, I just want to mention, don't do more than, I'm actually overstressing my carbon load pile tester. It overheats if you do too many batteries at a time. So you should actually wait for it to cool down a bit before because you're putting 180 amps in too many batteries at one go. But just to get the video done, I'm just going to overstress my meter here a little bit. There we're on 60. This one is the weaker of the bunch. You can see it's battery number 2, but still passes the test. But slightly, we might have to work on this one. We'll do the other test and see, because I saw it just on the end it wanted to go to the red. But it still passed the basic test. So we'll take note that battery number 2 we need to look at a little bit further. This one's also over 13 volts, battery number 3. And we're going to go for the 60 amps, which is 60 amp hours, 180 amps for 15 seconds. It's holding there nicely around 11 volts and passes 100%. Battery number 6. Battery number 6 also into 13 volts from the maintainer. And we got a 60 amp hours, 180 amps for 15 seconds. Looking very good. It's nicely on 11 volts. Still 180 amps, and my meter's getting nice and warm now. I'm glad I can do it cool. So there we have it. We have 6 batteries which is past 100%. As one that we might need to relook at is battery number 2. But we've got 5 out of 6, but I can guarantee that this battery will still be 100% when we finish with it. What I'm going to do now is to show the other test of the actual cold cranking amps in the battery, where we use the DHC electronic meter, which will give us some readings. So we're going to go battery number 1. I'm going to go in order because then for purpose of documenting the results. So we got 12.84 volts, nice voltage. We're going to test. I just want to change the language to English because I've got it on Spanish because I'm in a Spanish speaking country. Battery test is now in English. We got it 480 amps and we got it on EN, so we're matching the amps with the battery, and we can see there the 480 EN, and we're going to go for the test. And there you can see 542 amps and the spec is 480. Okay, the the current is higher, which I would suspect, because obviously if you take the definition of cold cranking amps, it's the amount of current that the battery can deliver at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which is minus 18 degrees Celsius. And in Ecuador at the moment we have a temperature around about 18 degrees. So you'd be as suspected the current will be higher. But there you can see a very good battery. On the previous test it failed. So we're just going to document that it's 12.85 and 542 EM. Very good, Jay. Ah, 12.85 volts, 542 EN. So that was battery number 1. And if we look through it there, we had no cold cranking amps when it was so badly sulfated. On the various times and stages, we only got it up to 46 amps when we took it off and put it on the other side on the 23rd. Now we have 542 amps. It passed the load test and everything is good. So we put a pass there, no problem. Let's do battery number 2. I'm just going to remove this battery because we are finished with it. We're going to take battery number 2. I'm going to go in order of number. Battery number 2 was a suspect. I can guarantee you we're going to find that it's not on the level we want. So we're going to look, we've got 12.74 volts. This is going to prove that voltage of the battery is not as important as the current. The voltage and the current needs to be within spec. We have 12.74 volts. Voltage is excellent. I haven't tested this battery yet, but I know that it's not going to meet the 480 amps because on the load test I could see it was only just a pass. So we're going to do a battery test on this one. We got it on 480. We're going to do the test. We're going to get the correct reading. 388. It says good and pass, but it's only 80%, just like I expected. So I'm going to document that. 12.75, 388 amps. I'm just going to put a question mark there because I feel that we can get much better rather than letting that battery go out at 80%. We want them 100%. So I would reject it for now, but we'll work further on it to get that battery. We will get it up to that value. Battery number 3. I suspect all these 5 to pass 100%, but let's just have a good look at him. Battery test. Again, 480, exactly what we want. 555, excellent pass, 12.82 volts. So we documented 12.82 volts, 555 EN, and it's a pass. These batteries are ready to be cleaned up. The ones that pass and can be sold with at least a year guarantee. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. Battery number 4. We have 12.78 volts. We do the battery test. Regular liquid, which it is, 480 EN. We're testing. 456. We could work on this battery a little bit. It is lower. It's 95%. It does pass the standard, but we will work a little bit on this one as well. So we're going to document 12.78 and 4.56. 456, sorry, correction. That is a pass, but